Niaje watu wangu, welcome to yet another episode of Morbid Media. I'm your host Timo. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. So recently, Wiseman Daniel held a 3-day international prayer meeting at the Ball of the Velodrome Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. And boy, was it amazing to see the power of God move among his people. Number one, if you do not know who Wiseman Daniel is, Wiseman Daniel is one of the 5 wise men anointed by Prophet TB Joshua in the early 2000s. The other 4 are Johnchi, Christopher Orji, Racine, and Wiseman Harry. Wiseman Harry has his own church located in Greece called SCOAN Thessalonica. Wiseman Racine is still at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, and right now he's more or less a prophet, which makes no difference really, because what the prophets in the Synagogue Church of All Nations and the wise men do is more or less the same. Then we have Apostle Johnchi, who now goes as Apostle Johnchi rather than Wiseman Johnchi. He has a more or less similar church to the Synagogue Church of All Nations in Cameroon called AGCOM. The manner in which the church operates is more or less the same really as the Synagogue Church of All Nations. The only difference being it's that it's located in Cameroon. And Christopher Orji also has his own ministries in Lagos, Nigeria called Sojim. Yes sir, so diving back into this, so I got to watch all the 3 prayer meetings held at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Nigeria, and you couldn't help but notice traces of TB Joshua in that meeting, which is a good thing anyway. The apple doesn't fall far away from the tree, and which is a good thing. So many people may have their own thoughts, ideas or opinions about TB Joshua, but I personally believe he is a genuine man of God. What captivated me rather what captivated me rather about this meeting by Wiseman Daniel is his message on love and forgiveness. I really like such kind of messages, especially in the church, considering that the current church is more inclined into prosperity gospel. So it's really refreshing to hear a man of God teach about forgiveness and teach about love. Some people are very skeptical about the healing ministry or the apostolic ministry, as some of us call it. But when you come to think of it, when you watch people like Wiseman Daniel or any of the other 4 wise men preaching, praying, healing and exorcising demons out of people, you can actually see the book of Acts in action. And for me, it's really captivating. For me, I personally like to see those kind of things. It makes me believe that yes, indeed, the power of God is at work. Although some ministers of God, but let me not call them ministers, let me just say some fake ministers of God do stage miracles, as we know. I'm not going to mention names just to avoid retribution, but some fake men of God do stage miracles, and it's really hard to define or tell the difference between the fake ones and the real ones. But if you're a Christian out there, I'd like to refer you to the Bible, where it says, whether for good motives or bad motives, as long as Christ is being preached, then I rejoice. I think that's Apostle Paul who said that in the Bible when talking about fake and real men of God. So if you're having a contentious mindset in regard to the fake and real men of God, then that's something you should go and look for in the Bible, just to reascertain your confidence in God and Jesus Christ. Yes, like I was saying, when you see these wise men or these prophets praying, you really get inspired. Your faith is lifted up, your faith is boosted. And I've also gotten to watch a few YouTube channels out there discrediting these men of God, discrediting these wise men from the Synagogue Church of All Nations, discrediting even Prophet TB Joshua himself, who is currently passed on. But personally, I'd like to say no man is perfect. Yes, no man is perfect. If you are a true Christian, you should know that David, King David, was a man full of mistakes. A man full of mistakes, but still God used him and he made him king over Israel. When you look at Jonah, when God called him to go and preach to the people of Nineveh, he was rebellious at first, even to the point of him being thrown out from a ship and swallowed by a fish, or rather a whale. But still, Jesus looked upon him with mercy and made the whale to vomit him out, and he went about his business to preach the gospel of God. The Bible itself says that we should not be quick to judge. It's very, very funny when you watch most of these YouTube channels of people claiming to be Christians, people claiming to be pastors, apostles, people claiming to be prophets, actually discrediting other men of God. If you are genuinely called by God, if you are a genuine Christian, if you are a genuine man of God, I highly doubt you'll go create a YouTube channel and and the content of your YouTube channel is just discrediting men of God, whether they are wrong or right. Only God can judge. Then again, we are all mature people, we are all adults here. You should be able to watch someone, you should be able to look at someone and say, okay, this is not for me, I'm not going to follow it. Nobody really needs to guide you. You're not a child, you understand? Especially with matters concerning religion. Religion is a very, what's the right word to use? Religion is a very delicate issue, a very delicate matter. So I hear the phrase a lot, the phrase religion is personal. I'm not going to use it. I really don't understand that phrase that much. Not that I don't understand it. For me personally, I'm really not into deciphering phrases that much. But nobody really needs to guide you. You as an adult need to know, this is for me, this is not for me, this works for me, this does not work for me. Jesus is not going to come with a whip and start beating you for not listening to this man of God or not listening to that man of God. You understand? Jesus lives in your heart. Okay, I've realized that I'm turning into a pastor on this commentary, but the main purpose of me doing this review is that I was really, really impressed by Wiseman Daniel's move to call for an international prayer meeting to pray for all nations of the world. Like I was saying before Wiseman Daniel started organizing these meetings, if you've been following, you remember back in January of this year, he held another meeting still in Abuja, where he prayed for people, he preached the gospel of God. But prior to that, more so the whole of last year, the whole of 2020, during the pandemic, he was just online, preaching the gospel online. And there are these prayer points that he came up with, and you could see testimonies from people all over the world, from praying with those, or rather from praying alongside Wiseman Daniel, using those prayer points. People who were struggling financially, one way or another, managed to be blessed. People who were sick got to be healed. I remember I saw the testimony of a lady who had lost her child, and after praying along with Wiseman Daniel, using those prayer points, she got to be reunited with her daughter once more. So you can actually see from his track record that he's been doing pretty good. After the prayer meeting, he announced that going forward he will be holding Sunday services at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, and very interested to keep track of how he's going to be doing. I'm pretty sure his ministry is not really going to be that different from the ministry of TB Joshua. Then again, This goes to prove what TB Joshua used to say about leaving your legacy once you are no longer on this earth. People like Wiseman Daniel, Wiseman Harry, Wiseman Racine, Apostle Johnchi, and Christopher Orji are... Orji sounds like an orgy. Yeah, me and my dry joke. So yeah, the 5 wise men are legacies left behind by Prophet TB Joshua, and not just the wise men, the other prophets as well. Prophet Chris, Prophetess Anna, and the other 2, Prophetess Yinka. Yeah, so, and the other white lady, I seem to forget her name. Yes, so those are legacies left behind by Prophet TB Joshua, and there are other men of God, prophets even, who have served at the Synagogue Church of All Nations as cameramen that you guys don't even know of, that are actually doing great things. People who just went there as members, congregants, people who just went there to receive from God the message of God, people who just went there to worship, who actually turned out to be men of God. So yeah, there's a lot of good things, or rather there's a lot of good gifts that have come from the Synagogue Church of All Nations, all in the person of TB Joshua. And it's really interesting to see where, or rather how, this new generation of men of God leads us. I know there's so many contentious men of God out there. Let me just call them fake men of God, that it's so hard to distinguish between the real. But anyway, just like the Bible says, if these men are doing what is of God, then you'll only find yourself fighting against God. But if their intentions, if their motives and what they are doing is of human origin, then it will fail, and only time can tell. So yeah, people, so thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, I'd like to remind you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll be coming back with more videos. I realize that I have been pretty, what's the word, lazy so to speak. I've been pretty lazy. I've not been putting up a lot of videos, but please do expect a lot of videos. I am a jack of all trades, so you can expect anything on lifestyle, vlogs, food, just anything. Yes sir. So hope to meet you next time.